Okay, so this video covers the cutting out of the template, and there's just a few things that probably should cover. So first thing you want to do is look over and make sure you're not going to cut anything out that you shouldn't be. The second thing would be when you're cutting rounded lines, like these smaller pieces here are quite rounded, and it can be a bit of a challenge. So first thing is just to cut on or just outside the black lines. And then when you're doing the rounding, just instead of trying to turn the scissors into the work, just turn the work and cut really, really slow. You should be able to do a nice job of it. Like so. And with the rear hatch, there's these kind of rounded corners, and these are a little bit easier to do. You don't need to include those little blue hatch ends there, or little bits there. It's just showing kind of where it goes and how it sits on the back. So cut it off square like this. And then to round these corners, just nip it off at a 45 and then round the little bits there. You'll end up with a pretty good rounded point. And it's a lot easier than trying to make them all match as you turn it into your scissors. So that's a good method for rounding corners. There's a few other bits that are a little bit challenging to cut out, and I'll just cover those quickly. These can be a bit of a challenge. At the front, you kind of need to use the utility knife for one piece, so I'll just quickly show that on one of these. Now this front part gets cut to there. Cut that off. So again, with the going very slow and just turning it into the scissors for this rounded front part. And the reason I say go just on or outside the black lines is because you can always trim or sand it later, but you can't put more on. So this little bit here, you can't get the scissors in to get at, and so just score it on the one side, and then score it the other way, and you should be able to pop that piece out pretty easily. And then everything else on here, I believe, it's pretty easy to get to with the scissors. You want to use sharp scissors though, that's for sure. Okay, with the turret, there's a few little bits that are kind of, how I recommend to do this is actually to cut in to the deep interior bits first before you cut the outside parts off. Just to make what you need to do a little clearer. And this rear piece is a little bit of a challenge to get to. I usually take it off with the scissors as well. You could use a utility knife just because you do have to kind of flex this to get in there, but you can get in there. So that's one slightly tough cut. Another thing to look out for is when you're doing the back of the template, or the turret, or hull rather, sorry. You want to cut the hull back right to the dotted red line here, rather than just to where it meets this black line, because that black line, this upper hull side kind of overshoots this back hull a little bit, and so you need to cut this slightly deeper than feels normal, right up to that red line. That's the only special thing about the template. You don't have to try to cut out the gun if you have glued it to the template. Just cut it free. It's only a guide, so you can just throw that to the side. And again, what I usually do is I cut in on these sharper angles, and this is just it doesn't matter. You can cut the other stuff first. This is just how I like to do it. Anyways, that covers all of the challenging, difficult aspects of cutting. The other thing to do at this step is to take your 1/8 bit, or you can use a 1/16 bit as well, and then just expand the size of the holes created with a bamboo skewer. That sometimes works a little bit better because it's easier to center this onto the site where you're going to, like right into the center of the guide hole, than it is to do it with a 1/8 bit. You can use a 1/8 bit afterwards, but now that you've got it centered with the 1/16, works a lot better. Or you can just, so there's 3 holes to do. There's the turret neck, the hull top, and the hull bottom, or turret bottom rather. So I'll show that just using the 1/16 bit, and then when you push the skewer through, just want to make sure you're pushing it toward whatever side you're not centered, because it makes a big difference as to how the turret sits, that this hole and this hole are correctly positioned. And then the turret neck. Well, the turret neck, especially if you use the skewer 1/16 method, is going to be quite a bit. But, I mean, both methods create this, so you're going to want to do this anyways. This is the only piece that's sandwiched at all. So what you want to do is you want to remove this sort of exit wound material with a scraper, so that it doesn't get in the way when you're trying to glue this to another piece. And just continue cutting out all your pieces until you're ready for the next step. But that should get you there. This is pretty much straight cuts and what I've already shown you left.